Fans around the world are showing support for actor Bruce Willis after his family announced that he is battling aphasia. The condition leaves patients struggling to understand language and to communicate. Anna Teal is with us now. Her husband suffers from aphasia, and we want to bring in her now because the condition leaves patients struggling to understand language and communicate. So we want to talk with you about it. Anna, thank you so much for coming on.
No, thanks for having me on, Natalie. Yeah.
For those not familiar with aphasia, in your own words, talk to us about what it is.
Well, aphasia can be a speech and language and sometimes reading and writing disorder. And, while we don't know a lot about what Bruce has, there hasn't been much information disclosed about it. A lot of people in the aphasia community are assuming, he has primary progressive aphasia, which is slightly different from acquired aphasia. So there's different types, and a lot of people don't realize this. Acquired aphasia is usually something that you get from an event such as a stroke or traumatic brain injury. And the primary progressive, is associated with conditions that are not event specific. And it's more degenerative. So that's kind of like the difference between the two. But my husband, he suffered an ischemic stroke at the age of 34, and we've been a part of the aphasia club for about 4 years now. So we've been trying to advocate and get the word out about this condition because it's often unseen, and a lot of people don't know until they try to talk to you and you can't find the words to say, and they assume that maybe there's a loss of intellect there, and that's not true. It's just the pathways that were once there to get the language out from the brain to through your mouth is no longer there. And especially with acquired aphasia, that can be attributed towards therapy. It can help reroute your brain to help you speak again, which is amazing. The brain is an amazing thing.
It certainly is. And this isn't like a day-to-day illness where you rest for a few days or even a couple of months and you're better. Many people don't recover. But as you say, there's therapies, there's a way to help. Because I'm wondering, how does it make your husband feel that people don't understand what kind of condition that he's dealing with when he's trying to communicate?
Oh, it's frustrating for a lot of people for sure, because it's almost like you're trapped in your own body. You know what you want to say, you just can't get it out, right? But he is so resilient, and technology is so great nowadays where he uses his phone because he also suffers from a little bit of, cognitively, he understands and can compute what you say, but he has a little bit of disconnect there. So he uses a speech to text app to listen and confirm what people are saying and to validate it. But it's amazing. He uses it to text people if he can't get the word out. And so there's just so many great resources out there that can help people with aphasia communicate, help them recover. And our aphasia readers books are something that is part of that mission to develop a tool to help you in your speech
Yeah,
recovery.
talk about that because your readers' books that you talk about because the first at first your husband the two of you would try to read books but found that there were only children's books available for people with aphasia, but you fixed that.
Right. Yeah. So, they say the best tools are developed by people who have been there, done that, and got the t-shirts. So we've definitely done that. And so my husband found that repetitiveness is key when you're learning to, get over the aphasia, that kind of hump. And our neurologist suggested children's books for us to read. And so they were not working. And you could tell they were kind of demeaning for him. As you can imagine, it's hard enough suffering from a stroke and not being able to tell your loved one that you love them. And then you're having to start back from square one. So while we had many good laughs about reading about a trip to grandma's house and, things like that, I could tell he needed something that was, more relevant to him and that was written on a simpler scale. And so we worked very hard with the University of Michigan aphasia program, which they're one of the number one clinics in the country. And we worked to develop aphasia readers, which is an amazing supplementary tool. It's not meant to replace speech therapy by any means, but it's an affordable, accessible tool that you can use alongside your normal therapy regimen.
We have just a few seconds left, but I want to ask you, what do you think Bruce Willis is coming forward and talking about his diagnosis, how it might help others and help lead to more treatments when you have a celebrity suddenly that gains attention globally because of something like this?
Oh, absolutely. While, like I said, our hearts are with that because it's a hard condition for the person going through it and the family. But I think it's doing wonderful. It's creating wonderful awareness for aphasia. It's much needed, and we're so thankful that more people are learning and they're interested and they're fascinated by this condition. And I hope it helps us, like you said, get more tools for people to help them recover, more intensive therapy programs, more technology to help them, be more social and to help it not feel like such a lonely condition
Right.
because you can imagine it is.
Well, your husband is fortunate to have you by his side, I can tell. We really appreciate your insights on this. Anna Teal, founder of Aphasia Readers, thank you, and we wish you both the best.
Thank you so much, Natalie. Thank you for having me.
Sure thing. Have a good weekend.